Hey everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. It's spring 2021. The dust has settled for the Pokemon card collecting hobby, so I think it is a great time for us to get oriented with what the most expensive Pokemon cards are in the hobby, because this list is continuously evolving and any one of the cards on this list can be considered a holy grail card inside of your collection. Quick disclaimer, this list is not going to be perfect, but I think it will give you a great opportunity to see what some of the most expensive Pokemon cards you can find out there are going to be. We do not know about a lot of different private sales as well as sales that get canceled after an auction is completed. So there are some missing information, but overall I think this will be a solid list for you guys to see what the most expensive Pokemon cards you can find are. Taking the number 10 spot for the most expensive Pokemon card, we have the 2005 Gold Star Holo Foil Rayquaza in a PSA 10. This card was sold on December 23rd, 2020 for a whopping $45,000. The Sky Legendary Pokemon was one of the first legendary Pokemon that was ever released, and it has remained extremely popular over the year. Rayquaza is a really cool Pokemon, and a lot of people enjoy Rayquaza cards. The Gold Star Rayquaza is by far the most tricky one to find. You can find ungraded copies or lower than gem mint copies of the Gold Star Rayquaza for under $10,000 very easily. But the most challenging one is going to be that gem mint PSA 10. There are very few copies out there, and collectors who own this card are going to be unlikely to ever really sell them, because only a die-hard Rayquaza collector would really want a card like this, and it's a beautiful card, really incredible card, and it's going to be the peak of the mountain for any Rayquaza collector. At $45,000, this is a card that some people are going to be chasing for the next 10 to 20 years to ever get one inside of their collection. In number 9th place on this list, we have another iconic Pokemon, and that is the 1999 base set first edition Blastoise in a PSA 10. This card was auctioned off at PWCC auction on November 25th, 2020 for the price of $45,100. A really iconic Pokemon card. You would find children worldwide trading this card on school playgrounds everywhere. I had a copy of this card when I was a kid. It was near and dear to my heart. Certainly, my version was not a first edition. If you can find a first edition stamp on your Blastoise card, then you might be looking at a small fortune in the making. But most of us do have the unlimited version of this card. Although I will say any version of this Blastoise card is well deserving of a spot inside of your collection. In number 8th place on this list, we have the Tamamushi University Magikarp in a PSA 10. This card was sold on October 2020 for $50,000. That's right, a Magikarp card was sold for $50,000. So why is this card so expensive? The University Magikarp card was given out to Japanese students in 1998. To acquire this card, the Japanese students had to pass a test on Pokemon card knowledge through a quiz, and they had to mail in those tests on a postcard. There were 4 tests in total, each one of increasing difficulties, and the top 1,000 students with the best Pokemon card knowledge would acquire a University Magikarp, a very cool card. And if you're thinking, well, if they were given out 1,000 students, then it seems like this card is very available. Why is it so expensive? And there's 2 major factors. The first is, of course, time. Time has a major factor when it comes to collectibles, because Pokemon cards have a tendency to get lost, stolen, missing, and damaged. So while 1,000 copies of this card was given out in 1998, very few survive to this day. And of course, these cards were given out to children, and I'll be honest, when I was a kid, I did not keep great track of my cards. Some got lost, some got missing, some were damaged. I just didn't really care that much to protect the integrity of these cards. So very few copies of a University Magikarp survive to this day. If you can find a copy of this card in a storage box laying somewhere, boy, talk about a gem to have inside of your collection. Taking the number 7th place spot on this list for the most expensive Pokemon card, we have the 2005 Summer Battle Road Mew Trophy card in a PSA 10. This card was sold on October 2020 for the price of $65,000. This card was only given out at regional tournaments across Japan in the summer of 2005. The hobby has extrapolated that there are around 160 copies of this card given out. Very few survive to this day. In fact, there's only 24 copies of a PSA 10 Battle Road Mew. Mew is an extremely popular Pokemon to collect, and this is the peak of the mountain for Mew Pokemon card collector. And if you are a Mew Pokemon card collector, this would be a great card to add to your collection. Inching above the Mew Trophy card and taking the number 6 place spot on this list, we have the 1999 Tropical Mega Battle Tropical Wind card sold by PWCC auction in October 2020 for $65,000. This card is really special, and I think it honestly deserves to be even higher on this list. The Tropical Mega Battle was a tournament held in Honolulu in 1999. The card features a very relaxed Psyduck lounging on the beach. It is a really cool card because this card came from one of the very first international Pokemon card tournament that was ever held. Over 50 people participated in this tournament, most of whom were just children, and most of whom probably didn't realize that this trading card game would reach this level of popularity or prestige. The card is extremely rare. There are only 3 known PSA 10 copies ever graded, so this card is by far one of the most rare cards on this list, being a very early trophy card from one of the very first international Pokemon card tournament. I honestly think it deserves to be even higher on this list. In the 5th place spot on this list, we have the Super Secret Battle #1 trainer card in a PSA 10, sold at Heritage Auction in July 2020 for $90,000. This is an incredibly rare Pokemon card. It was called the Secret Super Battle Tournament because the location of the tournament was held a secret. The Pokemon Company was certainly having some fun when naming these tournaments. The card features a silhouette of Mewtwo in a hollow foil pattern. There is the #1 trainer card, the #2 trainer card, which is in silver, and the #3 trainer card features in bronze. If you can get yourself the whole entire set in a PSA 10 condition, then you're looking at one of the holy grail of the Pokemon card collecting. There are less than a handful of each of these cards graded in a PSA 10, so getting yourself the whole entire set is an achievement that probably only 1 to 3 people have ever accomplished, so it's certainly a feat that I think a true Pokemon card collector would love to have inside of your collection. In the number 4th place spot on this list, we have the 1998 Kangaskhan Family Event Trophy card in a PSA 10. This card was auctioned off at PWCC auction in October 2020 for the whopping price of $150,000. I think this card is well deserving of the 4th place spot on this list because of how thematic it is. It is very rare for us to find a trophy card that does not feature a legendary Pokemon or Pikachu. The Kangaskhan Pokemon being on this card makes total sense because the event was a family event where a parent-child combo would battle for a chance to win this card. Kangaskhan is of course the parent-child Pokemon, making it completely thematic. This card is really gorgeous. The artwork never made its way over to English, making it even more popular. This is a really cool card. There are only 11 PSA 10 Kangaskhan family event trophy card in existence. So yeah, so few collectors even have the opportunity to ever own a copy of this card, and the price for this card has really appreciated over the last couple of years as more and more collectors have grown to enjoy this card and really see it as one of the most rare gems in the hobby. Making it onto the podium in third place, we have a card that you probably know very well, and that is the 1999 base set first edition Charizard in an SGC 10 gold label with an NBA Black Diamond certification. What that pretty much means is that this card is pristine, perfect in every single foreseeable way. And honestly, if that is true, then it is completely deserving of the price of $360,000. Everyone wants a first edition base set Charizard. This is the Pokemon card that everyone knows. When you talk about Pokemon card, this is the Pokemon card, an incredibly popular Pokemon card. There are many copies of first edition Charizard. In fact, PSA has over 3,000 first edition Charizard graded inside of their system. That number may be inflated, but even then, there are still thousands of copies of this card. So for a card that is that numerous to command such a price really goes to show you how popular Charizard really is. And if you can find yourself a first edition Charizard inside of your collection, then you might be able to pay off your whole entire college fund as well as your house mortgage for that matter. In the second place spot on our list for the most expensive Pokemon card, we actually have a tie with the first edition Charizard, and that is the 1998 test print Blastoise with a CGC 8.5 grade, sold at Heritage Auction for $360,000 in January 2021. So why is this card taking the second place spot, even though that it was sold for the exact same price as the first edition Charizard? There's two main factors that I think pushes it into the second place spot. The first one is that this card is even older and predates first edition Charizard, being printed even before Pokemon cards were officially released internationally in 1999. And this card is significantly more rare than the first edition Charizard. This was one of the very first Pokemon card ever printed in English. You can see that the font is completely different, and the art on this Blastoise was not actually the art used in the official release. They changed the artwork. So this is one of many iterations that Wizard of the Coast went through when test printing Pokemon cards in English before the official launch. It is a really cool card. There are very few test print Pokemon cards out there. None that have really made it into public hands outside of a handful from the CGC auctions recently. So these cards are extremely rare, and I think it's an even cooler card to have inside of your collection than a first edition Charizard. So that's why I'm putting it in the second place spot on this list. And in first place for the most expensive Pokemon card, we have the Illustrator Pikachu in a PSA 9. This card was actually not auctioned off like the other cards on this list. This card was actually traded between two influential collectors in December 2020. The trade was valued at right around $900,000. The trade was made public and verified, so this is very legitimate. The trade was made between a PSA 9 Illustrator Pikachu and many Charizard cards, including a PSA 10 first edition Charizard that was third on this list, a PSA 10 Shadowless Charizard, a PSA 10 Expedition Charizard, a PSA 10 Crystal Charizard, a PSA 10 first edition Shining Charizard, and many other premium Charizard cards and collectibles, with the total value being right around $900,000. If you don't think a trade should be on this list, another PSA 7 copy of Illustrator Pikachu was auctioned off at PWCC auction in February 2021 for $375,000. So no matter how you look at it, Illustrator Pikachu continues to be the most expensive Pokemon card, and it's unlikely that any other Pokemon card ever printed from now till the end of the universe will ever be more expensive than Illustrator Pikachu. This card is considered the peak of the mountain when it comes to Pokemon card collecting. It is not the most rare Pokemon card. It is not the most iconic Pokemon card. It's not the most popular Pokemon card, but it is the most expensive Pokemon card. The card is just considered super unique, adorable, really cute, and overall a very endearing Pokemon card. And in general, collectors continue to value this card well above any other Pokemon card on this list. So I think it's super cool that we have such a unique card as the chase card for the Pokemon card collecting hobby. And I think it's even more interesting that someone was willing to trade a ton of really expensive Charizard collectibles for this one single card. So I hope both traders were really happy with their trade. Someone who was really interested in the Illustrator Pikachu was able to get their card, and someone who was really interested in Charizard cards was able to get a bunch of Charizard cards. So trades continue to happen everywhere from school playground all the way up to being the most expensive cards in the hobby. It's really interesting to see the ranges on the value of these trades. Alright everybody, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I don't think I'll need to do an updated list for the most expensive Pokemon cards in the following quarter or even in the following year. It seems like the Pokemon card collecting hobby has really cooled down over the last couple of months. So I don't expect a lot of these prices on this list to be toppled anytime in the near future. It looks like we might have to wait a little while before we see our first $1 million Pokemon card, but I think that will be a really historic moment. What do you guys think of the list? Do you agree or disagree with any of the cards on this list? Let me know down in the comments, and if you'd like to support the channel, then do check the link down in the description for TCG Player, a great website and marketplace where you can find Pokemon cards from all the way back to the vintage area, all the way up to the most modern Pokemon cards for your collection need. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.